Good morning, Frontier Baptist. It's morning here anyway as I'm putting this together. Our association has sent us all of these boxes, and so theoretically if you got all of these boxes in the mail, we want you to be able to know what to do. So our association is putting together these kits so that you'll be able to use this equipment to be able to further the gospel. So let's assume that all of this arrived at your door this week. What do you do with it? Well, first I want to tell you what we have here. You have a 50-inch TV that's in this first box. It's fairly light, but you need to know what's in there and be careful with it. And then secondly, the second box, it's a long box, is a sound cube, sound bar, thank you, there it is. A sound bar that goes with the TV. Thirdly, this big box that I have in the middle, I believe, we haven't opened it yet, I believe that this is going to be our stand for the TV. And then in this box, is the light kit for cameras and those type of things. So we're getting smaller as we go, and then the smallest box is the iPod, which would then work within that whole kit. So you've kind of got your TV kit and then your video broadcasting kit. And so what we're going to do here this morning as quickly as we can is kind of tell you how to unbox it, how to put things together, and make it work very smoothly. So let's move on to that part. Alright guys, so we're starting to start with the smallest box. I'm just using scissors here to be able to pop open the box. So we open it up, and what you're going to see is a smaller white box. The rest is just packing stuff, so you can set that aside. We're going to cut here along the base to be able to open this up. If you notice here, it says Apple iPod on the side of it. We're going to open it up, and this is a refurbished one, and so the packing should be pretty straightforward. What we're going to find here is the iPod. It was just taped here on the outside together. So first your iPod. And then within the packing stuff, we're going to have a set of headphones that you may or may not use at all in this process. And then you do have one here is a charging cord, and that's an important component of what you're going to need. See, it's a USB port, and so with it being a USB port, anything that you can plug in a USB will charge this device. And so what we're going to do now, we're just unboxing it, showing you what we have here. What we're going to do is we're going to plug this in, we're going to get it charged up so that it's ready for us when we get to the next phase. So here's what we have. It's our iPod. We can pull it out, take our plastic off of it, and you can see that there. This one happens to be gray. Some of them may be a different color. A lot of times when they're first sent, they're not charged up. So we're going to charge this up so that we're ready for our next phase, and then we'll teach you how to use that there. So that should be all there is to that phase of what we're doing. So let's move on to the next step. Hey guys, welcome back. Milo here talking through our kit for Frontier Baptist Association. We started with the first box with the iPod. Our second box, again, just opening it with a pair of scissors. This box, and we open this one up, there's only one thing in this box, at least in our shipment, and it says on the front of it, a light ring. Everything else in the box was empty, so we're going to set that aside. We don't need anything else there. So in this box, at the top of it, you can see there's just a tab to be able to pull, to be able to pop it open, and we're going to kind of go from there, and a lot of what we need is going to be right inside of this box when we pull it out. So a lot of your components are going to come separately packaged. You want to be careful of that. This is our main light ring. We're going to be careful with this. A lot of this cabling and stuff that goes with this is going to be kind of key to what we're doing, so we don't want to twist any of those things. Certainly not going to attack them with scissors or anything like that. And then this last little box, sometimes these can look like packing, but this is going to be the attachment that actually hooks our iPod or will hold a phone or something like that. So you want to make sure, even though it's a brown in color, it's not just packing, it's an important piece to what we have going on there. So we're going to use this. I'll set this aside. I'm setting the big box aside just to show you what we have here. So first, we have our ring itself. So we open up the ring. You're going to see different components to it, some directions here. This is the main light, and what's going to happen with this main light is that our device is actually going to sit inside of this. And so when it's finished, you'll have your device will be here in the middle, and then the light will shine on you as the presenter if you're using this light for a presentation. Similar to the others, we're going to have a power line here. It's a USB power. So it has a USB port here in the kit, so that plugs right in. I'll show you that. That plugs in, and most of you, that's what you're going to use. You're going to plug that right in so that you can go into a power outlet. You're going to use that there. But you can plug this into any USB port if you have something else as well. An on-off switch, a brightness, darkness, and then that type of thing. We'll show you that in a second. There's also directions here to be able to show you how the stand itself is going to work. So that's going to come there. And if you want to put it all away in a nice, pretty kit, when you're said and done, you've got a bag for that. We probably aren't going to use that much for ourselves. So over here, in this bag, what you're going to see here is the tripod itself. It's still wrapped in plastic on the inside. So as we pull this open, pretty straightforward. The whole thing is coming as one unit, which is what we like to see. So we don't have to assemble anything. We want to stay away from that as much as we possibly can. And so what you're going to see here is this is the smallest that it could go. So I can set this right on the table right here, and this tripod would be able to hold all that we have right here, only 2 feet high or whatever. What you have though is each one of these pins will open and extend the leg. So there's the first extension, a second extension, or a third extension. So by doing that, we certainly can make this tripod a lot taller in that process. So it's a pretty flexible one. You can do a lot of different things with it. So for some of you, this is going to sit right on the floor. But for others, if you're in a different type of space where you actually would be able to set this on a table or on a stand, you wouldn't need to have the legs fully extended to be able to do that. So we're going to go from there. We're going to take a look at the other components that are here. Again, this is the stand that holds the device itself. And so this is a clip that works. Maybe you have something like this in your car to be able to clip a phone or clip a device in that. It's got a bendy neck to it to be able to make an adjustment on it. And then this here is the device that actually hooks to the tripod. So when I pull this open, you're going to see a pin that will screw into your tripod. It fits just like this to be able to go there, and then that is going to connect to the base when we get over here. I'm just going to take a look at it right now to be able to put those pieces together. Alright guys, so if we take our tripod, like I said, we can set it on a table right now so you can see it easily. If you look on the top of that tripod, there's a mounting screw that goes on the top of it. There's even a level so that you know what you're working with as far as the angles and those type of things. In the simplest form, we're going to connect the light ring right there on the top. On the base of the light ring, you'll be able to screw that right in here. And so when I do that, I'm just going to put that on the base, and then underneath, right underneath that level, there's going to be a screw that will allow me to tighten it up and be able to tighten this light ring to the tripod. And so when I tighten that light ring to the tripod, it'll give a stable light by which we can hold everything with. So I can get that tight. I've got it kind of lined up with the level there, and I've got a power source that's going to come to that from a different plug there down there. So I've got plenty of room there. Then I'm going to take the actual mount, and on the top there's a slide here within the light that I can slide my mount in. I'm going to turn that so I can get exactly how I want it. I'm going to slide my mount in, and then it has a screw to be able to tighten it into place.
Very good.
So now it's tightened into place. I've got my mount is here, and then this is where there's some adjustments here depending on which direction you want to go with it. Just a simple knob on the back of it. That'll be able to put a phone, or in our case we're going to use an iPod. It'll easily slide right into this, and then when we plug the light in, if this was facing you as the presenter, the light shines on you and the camera is right there aimed at you as well. Alright, so we're back here with the tripod. I just showed you how to put the light ring on and do that as your standard setup. That's probably what you're going to use in most situations. But I also wanted to show you this device. It came in the kit just like this. It was folded down, real small like that. All it does is pop open. It's a neat little device. So you can see here on the gold side of it, that's where the screw screws in from the tripod here. And so all you have to do is put that in there, and underneath the screw, just the same as the light kit went in, that'll screw directly to the tripod. And so if you are in a situation where you're not using a light, this little device has a spring on it, and you'll be able to place your iPod or your phone, or whatever device you're using, but in our case it would be the iPod, and you'll be able to put it directly into this device. And then if I loosen up the screw here on the side, then this will move up and down. If I want to be able to do that, there's an adjustment screw on the side right there. So this can move up and down. and this can also tilt back and forth in any direction that you're trying to do it there. And so your tripod actually now does the work to be able to set your angles for that. So your device is going to fit right in here, and then it'll clamp in and you'll be able to do that. So if you're the speaker, you would have this facing you, you'd be looking at the device in this way, and you would set this up in a way, if it's in your church or in a room that you don't want to have a lot of visual being taken up, this is how you would use that device to be able to do that way. Alright guys, this was our third box. This was a long box. It's a sound bar on the side of it, and that's exactly what it is. This is our sound bar. And so I've popped open the tabs here in the back so I can show you as our video goes. So we're just going to unbox this thing. Pretty straightforward. It's all in one kind of piece. When you pull it out of the box, you see it here. It just has these packing components on the side of it. That just keeps it safe in shipping. So all we're going to do is pull these off. We're going to set them to the side. And you see all within the plastic here, there are all the components that we need for this sound bar. So they're going to slide off. We're just going to take this plastic off of the bag, or it's like a bag that comes off of it. And after we do that, this thing will be ready to mount to our TV when we get that rolling. So we're going to take the sound bar out of here. We've got our power cord. We're going to keep that attached for now. Power cord's on the top. Just the basic sound bar here. The controls are on the one end. We can talk about that in a few minutes. So right now we're just taking it apart so we can see the sound bar. We can get all these components off and make it look good when we put it together. We do have a user's manual in the box, so that'll explain to us in many different languages what we're up against. But for the most part right now, I just want you to get it out, get it set aside so that it'll be ready when we get to that point in our design here. So let's move on to the next step. Alright guys, so we just pulled this out of the box. I did find after I was setting things aside, inside the base of one of these packing pieces there is a remote and some of the cables that we need. So make sure you don't throw that away without taking a look there. These are going to be cables for us to connect to the TV. So we are going to need that in the remote. So just make sure you look through that there's nothing else hidden in your box when you open it up. And then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so we're at our third box, or maybe it's the fourth one, but it's one of our larger boxes. I have to show you, I went to work on the end of this thing for no reason. I destroyed the end of this box, and you don't need to. What you're going to do is on the bottom of the box, when you take your scissors and just cut a perimeter. So if you cut the perimeter, this box will open a lot easier. You don't need to do what I did at the end of the box. If you do that, then the top of this just slides right off, and you'll be able to see what we have inside of here. Here's the small picture version of it. This is going to be our TV stand that's going to hold our TV, as well as our sound bar is going to go on there. So that's what's in this box. Let's get after it and see what we got when we start pulling it apart. So we got some styrofoam. We've got our pieces here to be able to go with that. This looks like it's going to be a lot of our hardware that's going to go into it in this box here. Lots of screws. This one is probably going to be our most difficult as far as all the components that have to go together. So we'll do that. Here in the center, this is your main, like the strength of the of what's going together here. So this will be the wheels will go on this end, the TV will go on this end when we're all said and done. So I'll pull that out so you can see that there. Again, more hardware in this center box here. And then as we move along, you'll see all of these different kind of components that are going to be able to make up the frame that's going to hold this all together. So right now I'm just pulling it apart so we can see everything. This is a tray that'll go with it if we want to use that. That would where you put a DVD player or any type of device that you want to attach and use with this TV. And then the rest of it appears to be packing peanuts wise. So what we're going to do is stop the tape here. I'll get stuff spread out on the table so we can see what came in the box. So then we can figure out how we can put it together. Alright, so what I've done now is I've taken all the packing components away so we can just see what was in the box. And really what you're going to do is you're going to have either someone from your church or yourself that's going to be able to follow an owner's manual. And this is going to walk us through all of the steps to be able to build this device right here. So that's what it's going to look like and it's finished. Certainly this owner manual is going to walk us through it. But I do want you to be able to see, we've got 4 wheels here. We've got 2 different bags that have all the components that are going there. These 2 kind of long, slender pieces, these are going to be what's mounted to the back of the television. so that it can hang off of this bar right here. When that's mounted to this is what the TV will hold on, and how the TV will get latched to the system. And then these smaller pieces over here, these will be the 4 legs in which the wheels will attach to and all of that. Like I said in the previous video, you'll see this is the base. This is where those legs will be attached to. There's a hole here to be able to run cabling up through the center if we want to do that. And then the rest of it will attach to the top. So now what we're going to do is we're going to assemble it here. Again, you're going to go through this owner's manual and you're going to try to make sure that you come out with what the owner's manual says is a safely put together components. So we're going to do all of that just like the instructions say, and then we'll come back and show you the finished product just so that you can see it there at the end. So let's get to work. Alright guys, so we've been following the instructions to be able to put this together. A couple things I want to show you before we move to the TV, because we haven't finished the instructions as far as what's in the manual. But when you get to this piece here, you need a TV to be able to connect it. What is going to happen is this is going to latch onto our stand here. But a couple things I want to show you specifically for us. So this is going to mount to our TV, and we'll show you that in just a second. But the other thing I wanted to show you was as we put this on, what we did here on the back is we went to the highest setting. We're going to have a 50-inch TV on this stand. We needed to go to the highest setting. So when we tightened up the screws on the back of this to be able to decide how high it was going to be, we went to the highest setting, and that's going to work best for most situations with our TV. If we decide after the fact to bring it down, we'll let you know, but right now we're set up at the highest setting for this TV. So that's those 2 screws on there, and this is basically what you're looking at up to this point. So now we're going to move over, we're going to take out the TV, show you what's going on with the TV, and then we're going to put these mounts on the back side of the TV and come back to the TV stand at that point. So let's go do that. Alright, so here we are, we've got the TV. I've got it on the ground, it's going to help me be able to lift it out. Across the top, I just cut across the very top of it with my scissors, popped it open so that this top piece can open up very easily. And then there's just a few components here that have to do with some legs for the television. We've got our remote, we've got those, that little bag of all those components comes in there. That's on the very top. So I'm going to take those out, set those aside, and then I'm going to pull off what is just going to be a protective casing there on the top. So this is all styrofoam, that's just keeping the thing from rattling around. And then the TV itself is just below that. So usually when you open up something like this has a plastic bag that goes inside of it. I'll just kind of tip it there so you can see that. What I'm actually going to do is be able to reach in and pull the TV out of the plastic bag. I should be able to just lift it straight up. So I'm going to reach in. There's got some handles down here, and then be able to lift straight up. And the TV is going to just come right out of the package. So I want to do that very carefully, and I'm going to turn around and set it on the table behind me when I do that. Alright, so now I've got it on the table. I feel secure about it. I'm just be able to take the plastic the rest of the way off. There's still a film on the front side of the TV. We're going to leave that there until we're all settled and all finished, just to make sure we don't scratch it in any way. But I'm just taking this bag off, lifting the TV out of it, and then really what we're interested in right now is all in the back of the TV. And so as I take all of this off, you're going to see there's mounting brackets here in the back of the TV that we're going to be able to attach our stuff to. So this is what we're doing right now, just taking this off, setting that aside, and then if you come in close, you'll be able to see the back of our TV. This is the important part that we're going to need for what we're doing to be able to see here. So if you look here on the back, there's 2 silver screws here on the base. Those are our mounting screws that we're going to need to be able to do our job of what we're doing next. So those are mounting screws there, and then we're going to double check and make sure we don't need any other mounting screws. But those are the first ones that I see. There's 2 silver mounting screws, and those will be very important for able to hook to the rest of the bracket. So let's we'll take a look at that, and then we'll put the rest of the pieces together. Alright guys, so we've got our TV. We took the plastic again, laid it down on the table so we'd be able to have it, we can work on it well. We've turned the TV over, and if you look here on the back side of the TV, what came as a factory screw right here at the top, we just unscrewed that with a Phillips screwdriver and take that out. That's going to be an important part of what we're doing here. Then the instructions also told us, and so we followed those instructions, that at the bottom of this bracket that you're going to take off a standard nut and be able to replace it with the letter H in our kit We're going to put this in there. This is to be able to tighten these up hand tight once we have everything in place if you want to adjust the angle. And so we're going to put one of those back on, and we're going to screw that on here so that we can tighten those up hand tight. So now as I've got this laid out, I have these knobs facing the outside. So later when the TV's in place, you can reach in from the outside to be able to tighten and loosen those things. So I've got this side totally set. I'm going to show you how to be able to do this side. So what we have here is in our kit, there's a screw that goes into place. Again, I told you the standard screw here. This is the standard screw that came with the TV. This is S5 in our kit. It has 3 different holes in it. We're going to use the center hole because that's what fits our screw. So I'm going to use that standard. I'm going to go on the very top screw. I'm going to go to that center hole and I'm going to tighten that into place. So I'm going to go in the center hole, top screw with the factory screw, and I'm going to tighten that into place. That just helps keep the thing mounted. I'm just going to snug it up real good. Now down here at the bottom, what I have here, again, S5 is that same metal like washer thing that's going to fit in there. We're going to use the center screw. And then I came out of that kit, I got out the letter S1 is the screw that fits this screw that's here. Now what we're doing here, I want to be able to show you this as well. Is in your kit of what is arriving at your church or at your home, or potentially maybe you're going to have to get one on your own. We got some black zip ties. I know that seems strange, but I'm going to show you in a second what we're going to do. So these tabs stick out just a hair lower than the TV, and you're going to need to take a black zip tie and stick it through that hole just so that it can hang there while we tighten the screw into place. So we're going to take this screw, we're going to tighten it down, and we may have to loosen it later so this thing is still movable. We're just getting it there just snug enough to be able to keep everything in place. So real tight up here at the top on both sides, and then these things are going to be a little bit looser so we can move that zip tie back and forth, because actually these zip ties are how we're going to attach our sound bar to make sure that everything is snug and in control. So I'm going to show you how to do that now, how we're going to attach the sound bar to the TV using a zip tie so that it all is real nice and tight and compact when we get it back on our TV stand. Alright, so I have our sound bar. Our sound bar is actually going to be zip tied to the TV, and we're going to put it in place here. I do want to show you, you're going to see that sound bar actually is going to hang upside down. So when everything is said and done, the name of the sound bar is going to be upside down on the other side. And we know that, and we're doing that on purpose because the controls for the sound bar need to be accessible. And so when this is hanging underneath the TV, we need to have these buttons be accessible. And so the sound bar is going to be upside down. We already know that going into it, and it's going to be alright. So what we're going to do in order to attach it, we stuck our zip ties through. So we've got our black zip ties hanging down from the bottom, so it's all going to look sharp when it's finished. We've got this little tab that sticks out enough from there. And then what we will do is we actually take this and lay it. And this soundbar actually has 2 little stickers, little bumpers that are on the bottom, and they help you line it up exactly where they need to be in relation to the kit that's going to, the TV stand. And so for me, I'm going to take these zip ties. I believe in your kit, I hope that you will have a little bit longer zip tie so you don't have to use 2 of them. I'm going to use 2 of them in my situation here. And to be able to make sure that I can get all the way around this soundbar. And so when I put this together, these zip ties will hold things together and they'll hold this soundbar. So I just pull this soundbar up. Again, I put those little bumpers right underneath. And when I snag this thing together, it's going to hang nice and tight up against the TV. And there's not much weight to the soundbar, and it's going to keep it all looking really good when we put it all together. So tighten that up. Get the other side set first before I go any further. And all of that will look pretty good when we're said and done here on this TV. So all that snugs up real nice and tight underneath the TV so that it can hang up against it. So we got these zip ties are holding it here. Right now this is our power cord. We're just going to set that out of the way. We can do some fine adjustment if you want as to how you're going to get this all feeling really good. We'll do that maybe when it's hanging back up. But that's how it's hanging on the bottom of the TV. You can see it's hanging here. In just a moment we're going to take this TV and we're going to put it on the stand. But right now we've got our TV and our sound bar, and we're going to go over and put it on the stand. You're probably going to need someone else's help to be able to put it on the stand. So let's do that part now. Alright, so we're taking our TV. I've got our stand on the side profile so you can see what we're doing here. We've got 2 of us working on it together. If you look here, the way that our hanger works is there's just kind of a hook that this is going to go over. The hook's going to go over the top, and then these screws on the bottom are going to keep it from falling back out. So we're going to lift it up. We're going to try to center the stand on our TV so there's nothing going to move out of the way when we're said and done. So we're going to lift it up, hook the top, it latches in, and then I'll turn the TV so you can see it. So now you can see our TV's off center. So we're going to want to move our TV over so that it's centered on the stand. And then now we'll take our Phillips screwdriver. We finger tighten it first. We're going to take our Phillips screwdriver, and once we tighten those things up, this will be a very secure stand to be able to hold exactly where we want to be. So we're going to do that now, and we'll come back to you in just a second. Alright guys, so I just wanted to show you, because this bar will hang a little bit funny, and so what you're trying to do is just make a nice circle with your zip ties, and it'll hang real nice and easy there once you kind of get it situated. So you just got to move it back a little bit. If you look at the side profile, the soundbar is actually hanging a little bit behind the TV, directly underneath the rack. So the soundbar moved back a little bit, but it just bounces there under the TV. It's not going anywhere, and it just fits in real nice. So when you look at it from the front, it's going to all tuck in there. You barely even notice that it's there, but it's going to give you a lot better sound, a lot better control. Alright, so what I have here, guys, is this is called an optical cable. It came with your soundbar, and so it's a nice cable because all of your sound can run through this cable. It's very simple. It's going to have a plug that goes here in the back of the soundbar. The word optical is there on the back. You go right into that. It only fits one way when it goes in. So you got your optical cable plugs in there. And that same cable, we can rewire this and make it look pretty later, but you'll see on the back of the television there's also the same thing. It says optical cable right here. So we're going to plug that in on the back of the TV. Okay? And so now your sound is coming from the TV into your sound bar. The only thing you have left to do as far as equipment is set up, it's on the exact opposite side of the TV. It's just your power cord. So that came with your TV as well. And that's pretty standard plug here. It's going to go on the other side and plug on the back of the TV. So now you've got power. You've got power for both of these devices, your TV and for your soundbar, and that's attached there. So now what we're going to do here, so this is our device, this is our hardware, this is what we got set up. So I'm going to turn this around so you can see the whole thing all together, kind of the kit. And then what we're going to do in the future is teach you how to use it. So with your kit now, you've got your TV, you've got a soundbar that goes with it, you've got a light ring and a tripod. Your light ring is on the tripod, and then here inside of that tripod is the iPod to be able to use as your camera. And so that's going to be there. We're going to teach you how to use those things later. We just want to make sure now you've got all of your devices ready to plug in, ready to use them. And we're going to do a video after this later to be able to teach you how to use that. So this was the important part. This was the hard part for many of you, is to kind of put it all together, assemble it. So stay tuned from Frontier Baptist Association, and we will be able to kind of walk you through the next steps of what to do. Hopefully you've gotten this far together. So good job. Congratulate yourself. Thanks for your team who's been doing this together. And then stay tuned. We'll put another video out soon to help you work through it. Have a great day, guys.